Questions for Coach Pat?
This Monroe team, you know, they've only played one game and it was in a rainstorm and you know, they didn't play last week. How much is kind of limitations on seeing this team kind of feed into what y'all are doing this week getting ready?
You know, you always like to see 2 games rather than 1 for sure, especially for some, you know, some more knowledge on the current team. Very good football team. They like to run football. Definitely have to stop the run for sure. Okay, they play 2 quarterbacks. They did a lot last year, played 2 quarterbacks as well. So I think that, you know, that they'll still do that, I'm sure. Running the offensive line is really big. They got a couple 6'5", 350-pound plus guys. So, you know, very big up front, very good, you know, running back's very good. Like to get the ball to number 3 a lot of different ways. So they definitely have some playmakers. You know, like I said, I like to have a little bit more than 1 game to go off of. You know, but at least you have something.
Javarius Moore, you know, everybody talked about how athletic and everything is, but he also looks like a really good tackler out there. How well rounded has he been through 2 games?
You know, he's actually got so much better at that. You know, actually started in the spring, to be honest with you. He did a great job tackling an open field, and you know, it's carrying over. You know, he's done a really good job for us so far.
Were you worried when the pass was tipped? I think there were 2 guys out there kind of juggling it around. Were you worried they were kind of going to get each other's way rather than one guy kind of?
Yeah, normally that happens. Normally, you know, 2 guys bump each other off, and all of a sudden, an opportunity goes to waste an opportunity. But they took advantage of it. You know, if you know, if they would have stayed on their feet, it would probably result a little bit better. But we got the turnover, and that's the big thing for us.
Turner got in on a couple of sacks and tipped a pass that was intercepted. Is he doing what y'all would expect him to do in those 3rd down situations?
Yeah, he's been big for us. You know, he's probably one of our better our better pass rushers, to be honest with you. So definitely in some long yard situations, he's been playing a lot, but he's been getting a lot of normal downs reps as well. You know, he's big, he's fast, he's physical, he's smart. He's going to be a big time player for us before it's over with.
Can you speak on Pawpaw and some of the other guys on defensive line? It looks like that they're just making a line of scrimmage behind the line every play. They're just playing so well right now. Can you talk about how they're just playing this year? It's been a pretty cool to watch.
You know, it's been a lot of fun to watch, to be honest with you. But the thing is, I think what's helped that is, to be honest with you, our depth. You know, when you get to play 11 different guys in a defensive line, it keeps them fresher throughout the game, for number 1. And then 2, they know they got limited reps. So when they get in there, they got to make the most of the reps. So that's going to be huge for us for the long haul. I'm pretty sure about that.
When you got a defensive front that's playing as well as you guys have through 2 games, and a secondary that's also making some good plays and putting up some good numbers and things like that, which one do you think is sort of helping the other more?
They're all equal. You know, I think, you know, the defensive line and the linebackers got to do a great job of owning their gaps inside, and the secondary has to do a great job of burning their eyes and making sure they stay above the cut. I think that's huge. I think it goes hand in hand, especially when a lot of teams try to run the ball. A lot of times it goes with the play action. So, you know, I tell them all the time, if your job is to stop the run, stop the run. If your job is to stop the pass, stop the pass. Just don't do too much. You know, whatever you're being called to do, just make sure you execute your assignment.
Barnes got thrown in there some on in the secondary. I know anybody that saw him play in high school, he was always around the ball. I mean, is that one thing you kind of noticed about him? What was he able to do?
Very, very, very physical freshman. Going to be a big-time player, I think, with us before it's over with as well. It was good to see him get some reps. I mean, he made a couple mistakes, as any freshman would do, true freshman would do. But you saw a lot of flashes. You saw him play physical at the point of attack. You saw him running, you know, track a couple guys down. They're definitely very pleased.
Speaking of those young guys, now we know some guys like Chris Reed got to play in times. They're not going to redshirt. Just in a position where you've got a lot of depth, guys like Barnes and Chris Reed, how do they fit into your plans for the rest of the year?
You know, the big thing is we do have a lot of depth, but we've got nine of those guys are walking out the door. So the thing is, you don't want to have a whole bunch of young guys next year with no experience. So anytime that we can get them some experience, you know, whether it be traveling to the hotel, whether it be playing on special teams, whether it be getting some minutes in some situations like we were able to on Saturday, that's going to be huge for their growth, you know, for the future. So that's the key is, you know, next year when those nine walk out the door, to make sure that you have somebody with some experience back there.
I know you have deep ties in Florida and recruit that area. How how the guys on the team that with those Florida ties, how they handle things over the last, say, 3-4 days.
Great, they've been, for the most part, I know they were nervous, like somebody like Marcelo, was really nervous, because initially it was supposed to really come through Miami, and say, gosh, probably didn't go through Miami like everybody thought it was going to. Even my mom lives in Orlando, so there's a lot of us that have Florida ties. Even Coach Hop has family who lives in Florida. So there's a lot of people on the team who have ties to Florida some way. And, we were all watching it for sure and praying for them. And I'm glad, for the most part, it looks like it's almost over. So.
Anything else?